What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video here for some projection, what we think tomorrow's patch is going to be for some Epic 7 here on Fort Missouri Gaming. And today, guys, you guys know by the thumbnail, by the image we guys have here, we are definitely projecting Luna, or not Luna, we are definitely projecting Lidica will be coming tomorrow. Now, there's speculation whether she's going to be a free-to-play possible character in the event, or if she is going to be a gacha banner. Now, I said before in maybe some of my streams that I thought maybe she could be an event character, but actually really diving in and looking at both the Korea side and the Asia and global side, I actually do think she is going to be a banner character because the Korea server will have no banner because they do not have the Luna banner because they basically got gifted free Lunas if they summon. So I do think she's going to be a banner character, but I don't think she's going to be a limited character. I think she's going to be a regular raid-up character simply because Bologna was a regular raid-up character, and they basically are kind of like in the same kind of story together. So it wouldn't really make sense that Lidica would be a non-limited character, or that Lidica would be a limited character, and then Bologna would not be a limited character. So I think she's going to be a regular limited character. And the other thing is, just in gachas in general, you generally, like, when you hype up a limited character, now granted that Luna was released as a limited character a long time ago on the Korea server, and she just recently came to global and Asia. Still, the fact is that global and Asia have her, and it seems like Smilegate wants to completely catch up content, all three servers, so we're all on a level field. But I still think that overall, Lidica will be a regular banner character, regular raid-up character that will be in the general pool after her banner leaves, simply because that's going to be a week apart from a limited release, and that's going to compete a lot with the hypeness of Luna, and to try to create more hypeness of another limited character just does not seem like the way you want to go as a business. As far as when you're creating hype for certain units. Now, Lidica will probably still have hype because a lot of people have been anticipating her. She's been in the story for a long time, since the Bologna banner. So, you know, she's like almost 6 weeks in the making type character. But that's what my opinion is going to be. Definitely, if you guys have different opinions, definitely shout them out in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely respond to you guys, you know, whether you have good points, bad points, indifferent. Or there is no bad points. It's all your opinion, but this is my opinion of my years of playing gacha games, of what I think is going to happen from a creator and developer standpoint, as well as from a player standpoint of what I've seen. So the question is, what are her skills going to be? We have 5 potential skills that we have seen, and I have screenshot those for you guys in the fight from the side story. Now, could Smilegate completely throw a curveball, not give us Lidica this week? Could they completely give her new skills that are completely indifferent to the boss? Absolutely. But generally, we have seen that 3 of the skills of the 5 or 6 that a possible boss has been translated into the hero journal in the actual kit of the hero. So let's go into it here, and let's see what we think is going to be a possibility as far as for skill sets for Lidica's kit, hopefully that we will receive tomorrow. So let's go to the first on her passives. Now, passives generally are not in the kits, and generally speaking, from the bosses to the heroes, because generally you see more skill 1 through skill 3 as regular attacks or, you know, support skills, and not so much passives are. You know, they're a lot more rare generally in heroes than regular skills are. So first, I won't let you pass is probably her best skill overall in her whole boss kit. And so it's increased the combat readiness of the caster by 15% at the end of every enemy's turn, and then dispel 1 debuff at the beginning of the caster's turn. So how frequently she attacks, she's basically a potion vial on a stick, and then she gets an added 15% combat readiness, which you guys know that's basically what Clary does on her S1 at the end of every enemy's turn. So granted, in PvP, she won't be as great, but she still would have some countermeasures against like Shadow Rose teams and, you know, Shuri and Ruzed teams. But for PvE, she would just be beyond busted in raid, especially because of all the different mobs you have, like when you fight the Queen, when you fight Carcanus, when you fight the Worm. Every one of those bosses have minions, and they all are going to attack, you know, pretty frequently, especially if you're keeping them alive, especially like the Queen, where you're going to just keep getting combat readiness, and then all these raid bosses all apply debuffs, so she just would be completely bonkers in that aspect, and I feel the skill would be too strong for PvE for Smilegate to actually put that in her kit. So I don't think this is going to be there. If it is, it's the best skill she'll have, and it'll probably be like a skill 2 passive if they decide to put it in there. And maybe they will, just because that would drive up her value a lot on the banner if this skill is included. So now we go into Fight Fair and Square. That is decrease the evasion chance of both all allies and all enemies by 50%. Now you fight her singly, and that's why this for her was fine as a boss, because she had no enemy allies. So I think straight up this absolutely will not be in her kit. You know, it's going to be very counterproductive because it's going to decrease the evasion and chance of the enemies, but it's also going to decrease the evasion chance of your allies. So I just don't think this is going to be included, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on that. Now, let's go into these 3 things. So the possibility that I could see switching out is going to be Wild Rose for I Won't Let You Pass, but overall, I think these are going to be the 3 things in her kit. So first, let's go into Thornbush, which, if you guys read these, when we get to Public Execution, Thornbush should be her S1. So Thornbush is attack all enemies, inflicting bleeding for 5 turns, which is a very long time on bleed. Damage dealt greatly increases if the target is bleeding. So Thornbush, you guys will see as an AoE. I would assume it's going to be a very low multiplier because it's going to have bleeding for 5 turns. Either that or the effectiveness on it is going to be very, very low. Maybe like 35% since... or it's only going to be 1 bleeding effect, even though it would last for a couple turns. That's the possibility, because it doesn't say multiple bleeding effects, you know, like units like Haste and Surin do. So maybe it's just 1 bleeding effect at 100%, but it does last for 5 turns. That's a possibility as well. So we'll have to see on that skill particularly. Then we have Wild Rose, attacks with a sword, decreasing combat readiness by 50%. So this, I would assume, is a single target, decrease combat readiness by 50%. Generally, this skill is not going to be that great. It'll be okay against raids, but, you know, for instance, for like Wyvern, units like that is just going to be pretty much a dead skill. You know, we'll have to see what her multiplier is. Chances are she's going to be a knight character. Or actually, no, she's a ranger character. That's right. So she is a ranger character. So, but still, even rangers generally aren't very high on multipliers. You know, generally the higher multiplier characters are warriors and thieves. So, but we would have to see how good this would be. If it's a skill 2 especially, I don't expect the multiplier to be that high, and with that being that the debuff is not that great, generally, especially, it would depend on how high the effectiveness will be. If it is 100%, then it could be useful, possibly in some raids, because I don't think a lot of the raid bosses have complete immunity to combat readiness decrease, but they do, keep in mind, have generally 50 to 70%, you know, just in general resistance. So your effectiveness would have to be pretty high on this skill to be super useful. So, all right. So now we have Public Execution, which is decreased combat readiness by 100% before decreasing speed for 2 turns, activates Thornbush after attacking. So why I feel this is definitely going to be in the kit with Thornbush, like I would say 90% chance that both of those skills are going to be in the kit, is because they combo with each other. So that's kind of a given there. Decreased combat readiness by 100% is pretty amazing, actually, if the unit can be hit with a decreased CR. So that is really, really good. Then you decrease your speed for 2 turns as well. So that's just like a complete pushback. So we would have to see how this would play out as far as effectiveness when we actually get it on the hero. You know, it could come with like 50% effectiveness or 35% effectiveness. You never know, or 75%. Usually on ultimates, they're at minimum 50%. So if it's like 50% and maybe you can skill enhance it to like 75%, I could see that. Or maybe 85%. But if it's 100% and then 100% CR, that's pretty insane. It is only for 1 enemy, so for PvP, she definitely is not going to be as strong as a character like Shadow Rose, or even Rusid or Shuri, I feel. But for PvE, for single boss fights, she'll be pretty awesome, actually. And she could even be pretty useful in Golem, assuming she is a fire unit. Because I believe she was a fire in the side story, if I'm not mistaken. So she could be a pretty cool frontline character. And then it combos into Thornbush. So Thornbush is going to do more damage depending on more bleeds. So if you hit your bleeds here, then you go into Public's Execution. It does that there. That's pretty awesome. Now, she has a very, very low turn cooldown of 3 turns. I do not think we'll be that lucky. If we are that lucky and this is 3 turns, I would say definitely she's not going to have a decreased skill reduction. And then I would also assume that either the multiplier is going to be very, very low, or the effectiveness is going to be very, very low for decreased CR. So that's what I think overall in this character. Now, is this character going to be worth going crazy for? I honestly don't think so. She's got a cool kit, but I don't think she's going to be like crazy, crazy important. I actually feel like Golem is probably where she'll probably be even more useful. Maybe some raids, depending on the effect resistance and obviously the effectiveness that these skills are going to have. But I feel Wild Rose is just a very, very lackluster skill, and her whole kit is based around decreasing CR. So, like, I feel Tamarine, if you have her, you don't really need this character because you're going to be increasing your combat readiness. You know, if you go full skill up on Tamarine of getting 50% combat readiness on a 2-turn swing while you're in idle form, I just don't feel you're going to need Lidica. So, for me, if this is her skill set, and like I said, if I'm projecting she starts at like 50% or 75% here, and then it's 100% here, and then maybe it's 100% here, I may do like 20 summons just for YouTube. But honestly, guys, if you guys went heavy for Tamarine and you went heavy for Luna, I would say she's going to be a skip unit. Especially if you have units like Shadow Rose, if you have Shuri, if you have Lucid, Specialty Change, heavily invested. I don't think you're going to need her overall. So, especially if you have a lot of other fire units like Aramithia, Fire Ken, Tamarine, units like that, or you wouldn't even need to, you have a good Golem team already, or you don't really need to bring her, then I say she's definitely a skip. And this is the point, guys, where we just had a heavy banner where you guys may have done 600 plus bookmarks in or more. You have to be smart with your currency if you guys are free to play, and you can't be getting into the hype that every YouTuber makes for a new character. I generally try not to hype characters up too much if I feel that they are mediocre, or just not absolute top tier. I want to be straight with you guys on the channel. So just because I summon, like I said straight up, Violet I did not feel, K-Ron I didn't feel, and I only did one summon video for each of those characters. So, you know, I still will summon just for the sake it's a new banner as a YouTuber, but you know, straight up, unless your skills are completely crazy improved from what I see here, and the percentages are different, or the cooldowns are different, or whatever, then I'm probably, like I said, going to do 10 to 20 summons and then call it a day. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, though. If you guys do like Lidica a lot, definitely leave that in the comment box. If you guys did enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you guys are new. As always, I hope you guys did enjoy this in-depth analysis of what her potential skills could be, assuming we do get her in a banner tomorrow. So let me know, and thank you guys so much for checking out the video as always today. And if you guys did enjoy, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, guys.